Most people believe that the thing men care about most in a relationship is physical intimacy. Many assume that attraction and sleeping together are the main things that keep a man interested. But there is something that many men value even more than that, and that is respect. This idea might sound familiar because you have probably heard it many times before. Still, most people misunderstand what respect actually means in relationships and how powerful it really is. Respect is not just a polite attitude or being nice to someone. For many men, respect is deeply tied to their identity, their sense of value, and how they experience love. Attraction and chemistry might bring two people together in the beginning. Passion can create excitement and strong emotional energy, but attraction alone rarely keeps a relationship strong in the long run. Over time, the thing that truly sustains connection and loyalty is respect. When a man feels respected, he feels seen, appreciated, and valued for who he is and what he brings into the relationship. That feeling motivates him to invest more emotionally and to remain committed. Without respect, even the most exciting relationships eventually begin to fall apart. A relationship may still have attraction, physical closeness, and shared experiences, but if respect slowly disappears, emotional connection weakens. Eventually, frustration replaces admiration, and the relationship loses its foundation. To understand why respect matters so much, it helps to look at how many men develop their sense of identity from an early age. During childhood and adolescence, boys often grow up in environments where they constantly measure themselves against others. They compete in sports, academics, or social status. Conversations among boys often revolve around who is the strongest, the most capable, the most admired, or the most respected. This early conditioning shapes how many men later evaluate themselves and their place in the world. As a result, respect becomes closely tied to a man's sense of self-worth. When he feels respected by the woman he cares about, it reinforces his confidence and strengthens his emotional bond with her. He feels motivated to show up fully, to protect the relationship, and to give his best. On the other hand, when respect is missing, he may begin to feel unappreciated or emotionally disconnected, even if other parts of the relationship still seem positive. However, there is an important detail many people overlook. Respect only has power when it comes from someone whose opinion truly matters. If a man does not value someone's perspective or admiration, then their respect will not influence him very much. But when respect comes from a partner whose opinion he deeply values, it becomes extremely meaningful. So the real question becomes, how do you create the kind of respect that truly matters and strengthens a relationship? One powerful approach is developing emotional intelligence during difficult moments. Relationships are not always smooth and peaceful. Disagreements, misunderstandings, and emotional conflicts will naturally appear over time. In these situations, the way someone handles tension can either build respect or damage it. Imagine a situation where a heated argument starts to develop. Emotions rise, voices become louder, and both people feel the need to defend their point of view. In moments like this, many people react impulsively. They try to win the argument, prove their partner wrong, or dominate the conversation. But emotional maturity looks very different. When someone remains calm during conflict, listens carefully, and responds thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally, it changes the entire dynamic of the conversation. Calm confidence can be far more powerful than aggressive arguments. When a person stays composed while expressing their perspective clearly and respectfully, it demonstrates strength and maturity. This kind of behavior naturally creates respect because it shows emotional control and self-awareness. Instead of turning disagreements into battles, it transforms them into opportunities for understanding and growth. A partner who communicates with calm confidence becomes someone others admire and want beside them during challenging moments. Another powerful way to build respect in a relationship is through meaningful action rather than constant words. Words can be comforting, but consistent actions create lasting impressions. Many men pay close attention to results, solutions, and practical contributions. When someone takes initiative and helps create positive experiences in the relationship, it shows reliability and capability. For example, planning activities, organizing experiences, or helping manage certain responsibilities demonstrates thoughtfulness and partnership. These actions show that both people are contributing to the relationship in meaningful ways. A healthy relationship often thrives when both partners feel like they are adding value to each other's lives. This does not mean one person must depend completely on the other. Instead, it means allowing each person to contribute their strengths and efforts to the partnership. Interestingly, when someone invests effort, time, and resources into a relationship, their emotional attachment often grows stronger. Human psychology tends to value the things we invest in. The more effort someone puts into building a connection, the more meaningful that connection becomes to them. Think about how people support their favorite sports teams. Fans stay loyal for years, even when their team loses repeatedly. They continue watching games, buying merchandise, and celebrating victories because they have invested so much time and emotional energy. Walking away would feel like abandoning something meaningful that has been part of their life for years. Relationships can follow a similar psychological pattern. When someone willingly invests their time, care, and attention into a partner, their attachment grows deeper. Their mind naturally justifies that investment by believing the relationship is valuable and worth protecting. This is why strong relationships often develop when both partners feel involved in building something together. Shared effort creates shared meaning. Another key factor that strengthens respect is clarity. Being clear about what you want from a relationship sends a powerful message about your values and expectations. Clarity removes confusion and allows both people to understand the direction of the relationship. Many people say they want commitment, loyalty, or long-term connection, but their actions sometimes send mixed signals. For example, someone might say they want a serious relationship while tolerating inconsistent communication or unreliable behavior. When words and actions do not match, confusion appears. People tend to pay more attention to behavior than promises. Actions reveal true standards. If someone accepts minimal effort or repeated disrespect, others may assume that behavior is acceptable. But when someone consistently upholds their standards through their actions, it creates a strong sense of self-respect. Clarity also means understanding your own boundaries and values. When you know what kind of relationship you want, you naturally become more confident in your decisions. You recognize when something aligns with your vision and when it does not. Another important principle is avoiding the temptation to control another person. Many people believe that relationships improve when they try to influence, manage, or control their partner's behavior. But control rarely creates genuine respect. In fact, it often creates resistance, frustration, or emotional distance. True strength in relationships comes from self-respect and boundaries rather than control. Instead of trying to force someone to behave a certain way, confident individuals focus on what they will accept and what they will not tolerate. For example, imagine having a friend who constantly criticizes your choices or ignores your boundaries. If that behavior continues without consequences, it sends a message that disrespect is acceptable. But when someone calmly addresses the issue or chooses to distance themselves from the situation, it demonstrates self-respect and integrity. This same principle applies in romantic relationships. When someone maintains clear boundaries and stays aligned with their values, it communicates strength and confidence. That kind of self-respect naturally attracts admiration. Respect grows strongest when it is rooted in authenticity. It is not about manipulation, playing games, or following tactics designed to control someone else's emotions. Instead, it comes from personal growth, emotional intelligence, and a strong sense of self-worth. When someone values themselves, appreciates their own strengths, and takes pride in who they are becoming, it becomes easier to set healthy boundaries and create balanced relationships. Self-respect often inspires respect from others. One powerful exercise is learning to recognize and appreciate your own qualities. Many people spend so much time focusing on their flaws that they forget to acknowledge their strengths. But confidence grows when you actively recognize what you admire about yourself. Take time to reflect on your qualities, achievements, and values. Write down the things you appreciate about your personality, your resilience, your kindness, your determination, or your creativity. Celebrate your progress and acknowledge your growth. When someone builds strong self-esteem, Setting boundaries becomes much easier. They no longer tolerate situations that diminish their value because they understand their worth. Healthy relationships are not built on chasing validation or trying to force someone to stay. They are built on mutual respect, shared effort, and emotional maturity. When both partners feel respected and valued, loyalty and commitment grow naturally. Respect strengthens admiration. Admiration deepens attraction. And when those elements combine with trust and emotional support, relationships become far more stable and fulfilling. At the end of the day, respect is not about dominance or control. It is about recognizing each other's value and treating one another with dignity and appreciation. When respect becomes the foundation of a relationship, it creates an environment where love, loyalty, and genuine connection can thrive for many years.